Hello everyone, it's Thumper the Rabbit. I have a user request from Darius on YouTube asking about making automatic lights that turn on when you enter a room and turn off when you leave. An ideal application for the HBHF sensor. I've put one on the ceiling here so that when I enter the room, it triggers this half of an AND switch, and I've got power coming in from the roof, but you can have your power come from wherever. And I'm splitting part of it into the AND switch, which is the power that's actually running the lights, and part of it going to power the HBHF sensor itself. The placement of this will determine how sensitive it is to you entering the room. In this case, I have it in the middle of the room, so it could actually see me in the doorway. So assuming there was a door on here, it's going to see you right away when you enter. If you needed it to be a little more strict, you could put it on the inside of the wall or even on the back wall here, so it's a little more out of the way. One other issue that is presented with this problem is when you have a large room, you would need multiple HBHF sensors in order to pick up the whole area because they only cover about 3 foundations. Now this one is actually picking me up right now. I can tell by the green light on my OR switch on the wall. And as I move across the room, I'll pick up the other one also. And you can see there's 2 green lights on that OR switch. But here's the challenge. Because they only put out the unit count of power of the number of people that they're detecting, when you're alone in here, it only puts out 1 unit of power. That's not even enough to make it through the OR switch to the AND switch to trigger the power. So we have to boost these to assume that you're only going to get 1 unit of power. You can only do one thing. You'll want to boost these with their own AND switch. So again, I have some power coming into an AND switch here. And I'm going to take off the output here. And instead of sending it directly to the OR switch, I'm going to first send the output to the other side of this AND switch. Now it actually has 20 units of power from the solar panel on the roof. And that's plenty of juice to come over here, power half the OR switch, and send the extra unit through. You need at least 2 units of power here, not just the 1, to get to the AND switch and kick off the actual power load that we need. In this case, you could actually just run this to the OR switch and get rid of this extra power like we did next door, because I'm bringing enough power into this AND switch to not just be a logic circuit, but to actually power the lights. So in this scenario, I can actually bypass this altogether, but since I have it wired up to the lights right now, I'm just going to use that. You would need to do the same thing over here on the other side, or this HBHF isn't going to have enough to set off the OR and the AND switch. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in there. So we're getting more juice out of here. Again, you need at least 2 units of power coming out of here for this to work. Then it has enough for the OR and the AND switch, and then that lets the master power that's coming in the other side of the AND switch go through to your lights. Again, you could simplify this if you are in fact bringing enough power in on both of the AND switches here to power all your lights. You could just use an OR switch without the rest of this in the middle. But that's the trick to doing HBHFs in a large room. You would want to link all the HBHFs together with OR switches to trigger your lights. But since you're involving another component, you need to make sure there's enough units of power coming off of these to actually make it through all the logic to set that circuit off. And in this case, assuming worst case scenario of only 1 person in the room at a time, you just want to boost it with an AND switch and with at least 2 units of power. So you could use a branch to power those as well instead of the solar panels I'm using on the roof. That will get you the desired effect both for small rooms and large rooms. That will allow you to traverse across the entire space, keeping the lights on. And then when I leave, the lights turn off. As soon as I come back in, lights turn on. And I get to this doorway, these turn on, I leave, and they turn off. So there's your automatic lights for walking through rooms in your base. Just make sure you're aware of the HBHF's limitation of a 3 foundation distance. If you don't have any rooms that are larger than 3 foundations, you can get away with just this simple setup. If you do have rooms that are larger than 3 foundations, use more than 1, combine them with an OR switch, but don't forget to boost their power so that you have enough coming through to actually make it through the OR switch to whatever your master trigger is for your lights or doors or whatever it is you're trying to power. So there it is. Good luck, and don't suck.